Going over to the business blunder of the day, you have the WNBA players wanting a new contract. Granted, some might argue the business blunder is the WNBA in and of itself existing. I understand that, but not today. Today we're talking about how they're handling players, which is poorly. Because, again, when it comes to the WNBA, they're a joke. Statistically speaking, in terms of revenue, thanks to, ironically, their sugar daddy, the NBA, they do exist. I say that because, well, the NBA founded the WNBA and is a large, they're the biggest owner and contributor to, fiscally speaking, how the WNBA is allowed to exist. Because, again, let's look up some fun facts really quick here before we dive into the actual article. Let's see. Let's pull up some fun facts about the WNBA, which all 18 people enjoy it. I'm kidding. The players have more than that in family, which, ooh, that'd be the true testament of a family member in love. Ooh, if you had a relative who played in WNBA, would you go watch? Now, and not as a punishment, to generally try to cheer them on. Would you go watch? Oh, I have a sister. Thank God she doesn't play basketball, so I don't have to worry about this theoretical situation. But would I go to cheer her on? Not just for like a minute. You have to say for the whole game. Ooh. I'm not saying it's the definition of hell, but it might be a factor. It might be one of the stages. I have to read Dante's Inferno. It might be another one of the last chapters of the book. Now, let's see. When was the WNBA founded? All right. 1996. Didn't they lose 50 million last year? Let's check it out. How much money did the WNBA lose? And I'm looking these up on Grok, the AI from X. Oh, geez. Even with sky record amounts of interest, thanks to good old Iowan, Caitlin Clark, even that is not enough to actually make a profit for the company or the league. Now they say, quote, again, this is from XAI, or the AI Grok. I'll pronounce it right one of these days, perhaps. They say, quote, the WNBA is reported to be on track to lose approximately 40 million in 2024 season to nearly 50 million. This figure represents slightly improvement over the 50 million loss the year before, but it underscores the financial challenges the league faces, despite the growing popularity and increased viewership and attendance. I have to check this. I have to ask them, I'm not saying this is solve crime overnight, but are prisoners being sent to WNBA games? Ooh. I might have just solved crime in America. If you knew you were going to go to jail, and they would have to, the ultimate punishment, you have to go to every single WNBA game if you're sent to prison in the United States. I'm not saying crime would be solved overnight, but statistically speaking, what would that crash look like in terms of the number of people committing crimes? Would it cut in half, conceivably? That's, granted, I know there's a clause. The government said, the founding fathers said you're not supposed to have cruel and unusual punishment. I suspect it will be challenged in court if this plan were trying to be executed. So there might be some issues in that regard, but let's get creative, people. We got to fix some stuff in America. It's not out of the realm of possibility. Now, this comes to us again thanks to LinkedIn. Going to the actual article, they say, quote, and this is thanks to Kara Reinhardt, or is a writer over there, say, quote, WNBA players push for a new contract. The New York Liberty came into hop last Sunday's WNBA championship, which, did anyone even know that existed? No, nobody knew that existed. I apologize. The people, oh, dear Lord, I feel bad for them. The cameraman probably knew it existed. The people who played, most of them probably showed up and knew it existed. And presumably, some other family members probably showed up to watch it. Now, they say the New York Liberty came out to hop to, that has to be a team name, which is also weak. They say, quote, Sunday night's WNBA championship, and league players are now hoping to do the same thing in a looming contract negotiation. They voted to opt out of their current collective bargaining agreement, setting up potential work stoppage in 2026. Oh, dear God, what would we do? This is one of those things where a lot of unions, a lot of players, a lot of people threaten to go on strike, which in some cases there are some real life consequences. Like if we stop making cars tomorrow, that'd be pretty bad, especially the Cadillac CT4V Blackwing, Cadillac CT5V Blackwing. That would stink if that stopped production on that. And if I won the lottery, I'd definitely buy one of those. That'd be bad. The economy would suffer because a lot of people need to buy new cars. People get into accidents. They want to upgrade your car. Maybe I'm trying to think of other strikes. The dock strike, where if you can't import goods to the United States, that'd be a bad strike. A lot of people be hurt. If the WNBA went on a strike, I can't but think it'd be the same parallel of when the federal government is shut down and about 5 people notice and 2 people care. I'm only partially exaggerating. Now they say, quote, they're seeking changes, including higher pay, which they lost $40 million to $50 million, and they want higher pay. Again, these players are so mentally vacuous. One gal has an $8,000 per month rent. That's the dumbest thing you can do in your life. $8,000 a month to rent. And she admits, or she says, like, oh yeah, I don't make enough money because of my salary. It's like, do Americans not know to live within their means? $8,000 a month to rent? Jeez. Now they're also pushing for family planning, benefits, and share of revenue. Yeah. They say after the league enjoyed upticks in attendance and merchandising sales. People are buying that merch? Maybe pay Caitlin Clark. They say, meanwhile, Nike renewed its WNBA uniform and apparel partnerships along the NBA. Which, you win the big contract, I'm pretty sure the small one gets thrown in for free. I'm only partially kidding. But, yeah, they're going to ask for all this stuff. Business blunder is clearly the league, WNBA league, not properly controlling the situation, and maybe just sitting down these players and trying to calmly, again, I'm sure the players would love if they were explained with logic and reason and not emotional rhetoric. And they're just walking through a spreadsheet of how much we're losing money and how, no, you do not deserve to get paid a penny more because, again, the league is not sustainable. It's a charity still. Now, again, I'm not saying in our lifetime it won't make a profit. That's not out of the realm of possibility. They're technically trending in the right direction throughout the decades. They could get to that point. But right now, it's a fiscal loser. And it's hilarious that some people think this is like the WNBA doesn't succeed in the United States because of sexism or something like that. The U.S. is, I think it's now 51% female. Again, if every single, and again, if you want to say only women watch the WNBA, which, I mean, statistically speaking, more of them do, but if they all tuned in, they would make just as much money. Or technically, they would make more money than the NBA, especially if there's a high correlation of sponsorships and people buying the products that the sponsorships represent. But there's a reason the NBA makes billions in revenue and profit. The NBA makes, like, what was it, $200 million in revenue? What was, let me pull up the last fun fact of the day. What was the WNBA's revenue this year? So 2024 WNBA revenue. Let's see here. Come on, Groke. Don't let me down now. The camera's running. All the times for the Groke to be slow. Now, the cliche joke in IT is it's the network. More often than not, that's not the issue. That's just what everyone complains about. But no, I have pretty darn good infrastructure here. Let's see here. Let's try another website. WNBA revenue. What does Brave search say? See, that happened in a New York minute. Groke is taking a little too long. I don't know what's going on, Elon. It's been about 10 seconds, which in IT is an eternity. Why should I partially digress? We'll go to brave.com for the search. Now, they say, geez Louise, what is it? A lot of the articles coming up are saying how they're losing $40 million this year. They're saying the media rights deals, again, that's only one avenue that they make. I was about to say they make a lot of money in a lot of different ways. They make some money in some ways. About $200 million per year. But again, overall, just statistically speaking, geez, what was that? Not like a lifetime, but Broke X Twitter did actually load. And I say historical losses. Let's see. It keeps saying the 200 million, which again, they do have merchandise and food. Granted, that's just usually a revenue split, the stadium for the food. But let's see here. A lot of articles are noticing the increase in attendance, especially the Caitlin Clark being on the team, where it's like 2 or 3 times more with just her being there, which is, again, another business blunder is the WNBA not putting more resource allocation and focus onto Caitlin Clark, but another topic for another time perhaps. But again, the fact that it looks like they're going to renegotiate and give them more of the company and more revenue when, again, they can't currently afford it. They're losing $40 million a year. I mean, eventually they might make a profit, but right now they're going to say, oh yeah, players are going to give you more money, more revenue share, more everything as you continue to lose millions of dollars every year. So gotta say, the WNBA and this negotiation that's going to come up, gotta say that is certainly the business blunder of the day. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in. Again, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you can click that button, I really appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, and comment. It's a great way to give me some additional insight and feedback, letting me know how to make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.